Alrighty, today we are covering Reading Informational Standard 7.8, and we are going to go through the introduction. So this is Lesson 17, Evaluating an Argument, and the standard says, we will trace and evaluate the argument and specific claims in a text, assessing whether the reasoning is sound and the evidence is relevant and sufficient to support the claims. When you hear the word argument, do you picture people involved in some kind of shouting match? That may be what some arguments look like, but in writing, an argument is a text that explains why an author's position on an issue is valid. So these words you see in bold, I would like for you to put a box around the word itself because that is a vocabulary word, and please underline the definition. So an argument is a text that explains why an author's position on an issue is valid. When building an argument, a writer makes one or more claims. So again, we put a box around that. Or statements he or she believes to be true. So a claim is a statement he or she believes to be true. Then the writer backs up each claim with evidence, which we put a box around, or information that supports the claim. So evidence is information that supports a claim. Part of figuring out the strength of an argument is determining whether there is enough evidence to support the claim, and also whether the evidence does, in fact, act as a support at all. Read the following from an argument about solar-powered cars. First, circle the claim. Next, underline the evidence. Finally, cross out any information that does not support the claim. So first, we will read the whole passage. Dedicating research money to the development of affordable solar-powered cars would be a wise investment. First, solar cars would help end our dependence on fossil fuels like oil and coal, which contribute to the pollution of our atmosphere. In addition, solar power is a renewable resource. Unlike fossil fuels, it will never run out. Solar cars would also help the consumer save money. Panels attached to cars can collect sunlight and turn it into electricity, so no one would ever need to buy another tank of gas. Finally, solar-powered cars would also come in all the same colors as gas-powered cars. So as we read, the first instruction is to circle the claim. So again, the claim is what the author is trying to prove. And in this instance, it is actually the first sentence here. Dedicating research money to the development of affordable solar-powered cars would be a wise investment. All right. Next, we're being asked to underline the evidence that will support that claim. So, the first thing is we will underline solar cars would help end our dependence on fossil fuels like oil and coal, which contribute to the pollution of our atmosphere. Okay, so that statement there helps to support the claim. Next, solar power is a renewable resource. That is more evidence that's helping to support our claim. And finally, it will help the consumer save money. That is another piece of evidence that will support our claim. And finally, we're being asked to cross out any information that does not support the claim. So let's read the final two sentences together. Panels attached to cars can collect sunlight and turn it into electricity, so no one would ever need to buy another tank of gas. Finally, solar-powered cars would also come in all the same colors as gas-powered cars. I don't know about you, but that last little sentence seems to not really fit with anything, so we would draw a line through that because it doesn't really support anything. It's just a statement that really could be left off. Next, let's look at the chart below. Read the chart below to see how the author constructed the argument. So let's look at the claim. Research money should be used to develop affordable solar-powered cars. Piece of evidence 1 that seems to hold it up. Solar-powered cars would reduce pollution from fossil fuels. Evidence 2. Solar power is a renewable resource that will never run out. And piece of evidence 3. Solar-powered cars generate electricity, so they don't need gas. To trace the reasoning behind an argument, identify the author's claims and evidence. Then, judge whether the author provides enough evidence and whether it is relevant or actually supports each claim. If the ideas have a sound basis in logic, then the argument is valid. We're moving on to part 2, which is modeled instruction. So you'll be watching me, the teacher, work through this as you, the student, watch. The following excerpt is from a speech about meeting the energy needs of the United States. From A Generational Challenge to Repower America by Al Gore. What if we could use fuels that are not expensive, don't cause pollution, and are abundantly available right here at home? We have such fuels. Scientists have confirmed that enough solar energy falls on the surface of the Earth every 40 minutes to meet 100% of the entire world's energy needs for a full year. Tapping just a small portion of this solar energy could provide all of the electricity America uses. And enough wind power blows through the Midwest corridor every day to also meet 100% of the U.S. electricity demand. Geothermal energy, similarly, is capable of providing enormous supplies of electricity for America. So first we will explore how to answer this question. This excerpt follows a section of the speech in which Gore makes claims about the dangers of relying on expensive foreign oil. Here's the question. What is Gore's claim in this part of the speech? Here it's important to identify or infer the speaker's claim about energy generating options. In this case, the claim is made in the form of a question. Underline facts in the text that relate directly to the claim. Then complete the graphic organizer. So first, they have given us the claim. We should use fuels that are cheaper, cleaner, and more easily accessible than foreign oil. So going back in the text, let's look at paragraph 2. We have such fuels. Scientists have confirmed that enough solar energy falls on the surface of the Earth every 40 minutes to meet 100% of the entire world's energy needs for a full year. Tapping just a small portion of this energy could provide all of the electricity America uses. So that is our evidence for part 1. We will write that right here. Solar and wind power can meet the world's energy needs. And feel free to pause the video for a moment so you can write that down. All right, let's look back at the passage to find piece of evidence number 2. And enough wind power blows through the Midwest corridor every day to also meet 100% of the U.S. electricity demand. Geothermal energy, similarly, is capable of providing enormous supplies of electricity for America. So we underlined that in the passage. And then you write the evidence. Geothermal energy is capable of providing significant amounts of electricity. And we march on to the guided instruction. This is part 3. So this is where I'm still with you, but you are hopefully picking up the reins a little bit and doing a little bit more on your own. So on the left side, we're going to read the close reading first. In this section, Gore introduces a new claim, recommending a way to begin using renewable energy. What evidence does Gore provide to support this claim? Underline details that support his claim. So that's what we will do. We will underline details that support his claim. So over here, continue reading the excerpt from Al Gore's speech. Use the close reading and the hint to help you answer the question. So first, I'll read the whole section of this passage. The quickest, cheapest, and best way to start using all this renewable energy is in the production of electricity. In fact, we can start right now using solar power, wind power, and geothermal power to make electricity for our homes and businesses. But to make this exciting potential a reality and truly solve our nation's problems, we need a new start. That's why I'm proposing today a strategic initiative designed to free us from the crises that are holding us down and to regain control of our own destiny. It's not the only thing we need to do, but this strategic challenge is the linchpin of a bold new strategy needed to repower America. So we'll reread the close reading thing here. In this section, Gore introduces a new claim recommending a way to begin using renewable energy. What evidence does Gore provide to support this claim? Underline details that support his claim. All right, so we've got a couple pieces of evidence here that show that. First, in the first paragraph, in fact, we can start right now using solar power, wind power, and geothermal power to make electricity for our homes and businesses. So in your packet, please go ahead and underline that. All right, and we have another piece of evidence. Down there in the third paragraph, a strategic initiative is designed to free us from the crises that are holding us down and to regain control of our own destiny. So please underline that. That is another piece of evidence that he's trying to use to support his claim. Alrighty, so the hint on the left. In a valid argument, the evidence must be sufficient to prove the claims. Does Gore provide enough evidence? That is the question we have to really ask ourselves as we attempt to answer this question. So, on the right, circle the answer. How well does the author support his claim that the best way to begin using solar, wind, and geothermal energy is to make electricity? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to use the process of elimination to walk through the wrong answers before we get to the right answers. So let's read the options. A, he supports it well because the energy crisis is holding us back. B, he supports it well because he proposes a new energy strategy. C, he supports it poorly because he does not say why this way is best. Or D, he supports it poorly because these energy sources are not actually forms of renewable energy. So first, before we begin truly thinking about this question, I need to point out that options A and B say that he supports his position well, and options C and D suggest that he supports it not well, that he doesn't do a good job. So first we need to decide, truly thinking, okay, maybe he didn't do a good job, or maybe he did do a good job, but you just need to know that there is an option that maybe he didn't do a great job supporting his evidence, even though he's got a big famous name. It doesn't mean he did a great job, but he still might have. Let's move on. Okay, let's think about option A. He supports it well because the energy crisis is holding us back. That is not the right answer. Saying that the energy crisis holds us back doesn't really explain why the best way to regain control is to use renewable energy to make electricity. Next, D. That is not the correct answer. Solar, wind, and geothermal power are forms of renewable energy. So that is actually not a true statement by saying that they are not forms of renewable energy. Next, B. B is incorrect. It says that he supports it well because he proposes a new energy strategy. Well, Gore is proposing a new energy strategy, but he doesn't explain why this is best. And then finally, C is the correct answer. The evidence doesn't tell why the best way to use renewable energy is to make electricity. So, look at the answer you chose above, which should be C. Citing text evidence, explain why you chose this answer. So at this time, I'd like to share with you a sample response. Gore claims that solar, wind, and geothermal power can provide a quick, clean, and cheap solution to the nation's energy crisis by providing electricity, but he gives no facts, reasons, or other evidence as to why listeners should believe this to be true. So he makes lots of claims, but he doesn't really have any evidence. And as we all know, if you don't have any evidence to support your claims, then you have a very weak claim. All right, we're moving on to part 4, which is guided practice. So we're continuing to let go of the reins. Hopefully you can feel like you're doing more of these on your own. So let's read what the study buddy has to say. Sometimes an author's position and claims are not stated. As I read the article, I'm going to infer the author's claims from the supporting evidence that's given. So sometimes the author doesn't straight up state what the claim is, and sometimes we're left to kind of try to figure it out. So here we go. Close reading. What is the author's claim about the Advanced Clean Cars program? We will circle the answers that reveal what the author believes to be true. From Clean Cars for California. From Energy Independence Now. On January 28, 2012, the California Air Resources Board unanimously voted to adopt the Advanced Clean Cars program, which represents the most comprehensive effort in the world to set society on path to end our dependence on oil. It's a tremendous victory for California residents and consumers, with national and global benefits and implications. By 2025 in California, and we will pause there before we move on to the bullet points because there is a claim in here, and we'll go ahead and look at it. The claim here is basically informing us about this Advanced Clean Cars program that is taking place in California. So we'll underline these parts. The Advanced Clean Cars program, which represents the most comprehensive effort in the world to set society on path to end our dependence on oil. It's a tremendous victory for California residents and consumers, with national and global benefits and implications. So the author is basically trying to sell us on this idea. Next, how does the data and the bullets help to support the author's claims? Underline supporting evidence. So the author has actually helped us out quite a bit here because we know that each bullet point is going to have at least one fact or one piece of evidence to help prove the claim that they're making. We'll start with paragraph 2. 1 in 7 new cars sold will be zero emission or battery electric or hydrogen fuel cell electric or plug-in hybrid vehicles, and approximately 1.4 million of these vehicles will be on the road. So our piece of evidence is the first sentence there. 1 in 7 new cars sold will be zero emission, and kind of the rest of the stuff in that bullet point, that would be details. Okay, moving on to the next one. Greenhouse gases will be reduced by 52 million tons. Well, that looks like a piece of evidence to me. So we'll underline that. And finally, tailpipe emissions of soot and smog forming emissions will be cut by 75%. So there's that. And we probably want to underline cut by 75% as well. Okay, next. We're still doing the same thing. We're underlining the supporting evidence in the bullet points. Paragraph 5. California drivers will save $5 billion in operating costs, with average consumers seeing nearly $6,000 in fuel cost savings over the life of the advanced car, compared to added upfront costs of approximately $2,000. So let's have a look there. Let's see what piece of evidence there is. Drivers will save $5 billion in operating costs. That is a pretty good supporting piece of evidence. And finally, number 6, 21,000 jobs will be added in California, rising to 37,000 in 2030. So of course, anytime you add jobs, that's a good, nice, supportive piece of evidence. And paragraph 7, we're just going to read that to round out the passage. The program brightly focuses industry efforts on both incremental and transformative change. On the incremental side, the low-emission vehicle, or LEV, regulations set targets for automakers to improve the efficiency and emission systems associated with internal combustion engines, which are likely to be at least part of our transportation portfolio well into the future. Okay, now let's look at the hint for the next question. Identify the answer choice that best summarizes the lines you circled on the previous page. All right, so question 1. Which statement best expresses the author's claim? So again, using the process of elimination, we're going to look at the wrong answers first. Which statement best expresses the author's claim? First, let's read the options. A. It is important to reduce fuel costs for California drivers so that they can save money each year. B. By requiring cleaner, more efficient engine and emission systems, the Advanced Clean Cars program benefits everyone. C. Requiring that 1 in 7 cars be a zero-emission or plug-in vehicle is the only way to significantly reduce greenhouse gases. Or D. The greatest achievement of the Advanced Clean Cars program is that it will create 21,000 jobs now and more in the future. So let's march through. Option A. That one is incorrect. Again, it says it is important to reduce fuel costs for California drivers so that they can save money each year. So choice A is incorrect. It is reducing fuel costs is evidence, not the author's claim. The next wrong answer, D. D is incorrect. Creating jobs is not its greatest achievement, nor its purpose. The next wrong answer, C. C is incorrect. These vehicles are just one of the ways to reduce greenhouse gases. The correct answer, or the most correct answer, is B. By requiring cleaner, more efficient engine and emissions programs, the Advanced Clean Cars program benefits everyone. It summarizes the author's claim that this program benefits everyone. So that is the best answer for number 1. Looking on to number 2. Again, we want to eliminate answer choices that do not specifically support the author's claim. Question 2. What evidence does the author provide to support his claim? A. The author explains that the cars will still play an important role in our future system of transportation. B. The author describes how the California Clean Air Resources Board adopted the Advanced Clean Cars program. C. The author points out how dependence on oil harms the nation and the world. D. The author provides details about how the Advanced Clean Cars program will reduce car emissions and benefit customers. So, in the true fashion of process of elimination, we will go through the wrong answers first. First, A is not correct. The author explains that the cars will still play an important role in our future system of transportation. A doesn't work because it doesn't support how everyone will benefit. All right, the next wrong answer, C. The author points out how dependence on oil harms both the nation and the world. Choice C is incorrect. The text does not even provide this information. The next wrong answer is B. The author describes how the California Clean Air Resources Board adopted the Advanced Clean Cars program. The author does not tell how the program was adopted, and so that leaves us with D. The author provides details about how the Advanced Clean Cars program will reduce car emissions and benefit customers. So paragraphs 2 through 6 identify how emissions will be reduced and consumers will benefit. So that is how that is the right answer. The next question, let's look at the hint on the left side. Is all of the evidence relevant or actually related to the claim? That is an important question to ask. Is there enough evidence to fully support the claim? So ask yourself that question. Did they provide enough information to truly support that claim? Question 3. Decide how successful the author's argument about the Advanced Clean Cars program is. Write a paragraph evaluating the soundness of the author's claims and the evidence used to support it. Cite at least 2 details from the passage to support your response. Please pause the video to take the time to do that. A good sample response looks like this. The author argues that the Advanced Clean Cars program is a tremendous victory for California. He claims that the state and consumers will benefit from the increasing number of hybrid and zero-emissions vehicles and the increase in jobs as well as the regulations that reduce emissions and greenhouse gases. By creating cleaner, more efficient engines and emission systems, the program will help to reduce the nation's dependence on oil. And this is where I leave you. So at this time, you have the part 5, which is the formative assessment for this particular lesson. Please take your time, read the passage, do the process of elimination, and do a good job. We'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.